bad we didn't have the Academy All-Stars to bring us in, because Louisiana is moving on up, as John teased Education Secretary. I know. Education Secretary Linda McMahon, she visited schools in Louisiana last week as the Trump administration, of course, continues shifting control of education back to the state and away from the federal government. So local leaders praised the move, and Congresswoman Julia Letlow called the visit an incredible opportunity. And we had Congresswoman Letlow with us on the show a few days ago to talk about all of it. Check it out.
Joining us now from Louisiana's 5th Congressional District, Congresswoman Julia Letlow. Congresswoman, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always such a pleasure to be with you.
Well, we love having you here, especially when there is such a good reason, and that reason being that Education Secretary descended upon your state as the first stop on her tour. She was in Louisiana, and she sees Louisiana as a great model for the rest of the country. Tell us about the improvements that were made in Louisiana.
Oh, it was such an honor to have Secretary McMahon stop in Louisiana first on her national tour. She was touting some of the amazing accomplishments that we have achieved right here in Louisiana. We have proven that when you take power away from the federal government and get it back to the states where it belongs, that we can see improvements made. And we have seen that in Louisiana. We used to be dead last when it came to student improvement. Now we rank 32nd. And you may not think that that has bragging rights, but when you come from dead last all the way up to 32nd in record time, it proves that we are doing something right. We are letting teachers teach. We have an incredible superintendent and governor who are committed to making sure that power is taken away from the federal government, given back to the states where it belongs, our local communities. We know how best to educate our children. These are our children, not the government.
Yeah, such an important thing and such a great model when everybody comes together and we get the bureaucrats out of the way and we get the process going. There's a lot ahead for Congress to address on education. I know this is close to your heart. In Congress, you drive the conversation a lot there. Tell us a little bit about the opportunity. Obviously, Secretary McMahon is clear. She wants to wind down the Education Department, return that power to the states. What are some of the next steps that Congress will need to take to make that a reality?
The next steps that Congress needs to take is to get out of the way and let them do their job. They're doing an incredible job of laying out a plan of how we are going to wind down the Department of Education. I fully support the president's efforts to do that. And the secretary, I believe I watched a recent interview. She said that the president said that she wants to be fired. And so and be the last Secretary of Education that we actually have. So she is going to definitely lay out a plan of how we're going to move forward, give that power back to the states. It's so important that we continue to empower our students, our parents, our teachers, and the administrators. Again, we know how to do it best. So as the Department of Education winds down, the power goes back to the states. The sky's the limit for what that's going to mean for our children just like mine and yours.
Yeah. Congresswoman, I know that so many people who care about the education space, which frankly should be everyone, they are concerned about getting the power back to the states. But what responsibility and what role do the local districts and school systems play? Does this go all the way down to the granular level where each of these schools has a say in it as well?
Absolutely, as it should. You know, we saw after COVID-19 that there were so many concerned parents who actually ran for school board because they wanted a say in their child's education. They were being turned away, labeled as domestic terrorists. I even had to file a Parents' Bill of Rights that we passed in Congress just to give parents back a seat at the table. So yes, school boards, local municipalities, they know how best to educate our children. And so I'm excited to see what their role will be as they step up and continue to play a major role.
Yeah, so important. I want to turn to some of the other policies that are already now in place and having a profound impact. The One Big Beautiful Bill, part of that, the tariffs part of that. Shrimpers in Louisiana, one of the great industries. Anyone who goes to Louisiana knows where to get their food. They've been at an uneven playing field for a long time. The tariffs seem to have had a big effect early. Tell us what it means to the local industry there.
Oh, they could not be more ecstatic that finally we're putting foreign seafood on its heels, making sure that that is not coming in to Louisiana and giving them back their jobs, their livelihoods. For too long, they have been unfairly penalized by foreign seafood, shrimp, crawfish coming in to Louisiana. So they are on cloud nine. They are so ecstatic that the president is fighting for them through these tariff negotiations. And I have some happy shrimpers in Louisiana.
I bet you do. I want to stay on the Louisiana level of things, but also kind of blend in what we are seeing in Washington, D.C. Obviously, Washington getting a federal, I like to call it a makeover instead of a takeover, because I feel like things are going to improve, even if some folks don't want to admit it. New Orleans has also had a crime problem for a very long time. Do you anticipate that New Orleans could be one of these cities that's a good opportunity for a federal makeover?
Absolutely. I am so encouraged that the president is taking over Washington, D.C. As someone who lives in D.C. half time, I walk back and forth to work, and I no longer will have to be fearful because the president is taking charge. And we have an incredible governor here in Louisiana who is enforcing law and order and is going to bring back New Orleans as well. So I'm hopeful that our better days are ahead. We should not be fearful of our children playing outside, and I should not be fearful walking back and forth to our nation's capital to do my duty to vote. So I'm incredibly grateful to the president and our governor for bringing back law and order.
Yeah, such an important moment. I've watched your X feed for a while, and I think you do such a great job of helping people understand. There's so many things in the big, beautiful bill that can get lost, but particularly when it comes to being a parent who's got to save for education, a parent that might have to support the school or the church that their children go to. There are just so many places for families to get some extra money and to invest in their family because of changes in the big, beautiful bill. Tell us what's resonating most with your constituents.
Oh, they are so ecstatic. And wherever I go, I try to talk about these incredible jewels or nuggets in the bill, if you will, that are helping young parents, especially when it comes to the tax child credits for putting aside a fund to be able to invest for your child as they go along in their education. Also, one thing that we don't talk about very much, but there was a component in the bill that is going to empower even more school choice for parents moving forward. So I am so encouraged about all of the education initiatives that were included in the One Big Beautiful Bill. With my background in education, I was ecstatic and lending my voice and expertise to that and counting it now as I go across the state. Parents are very relieved that we were focusing on even childcare and getting parents the relief that they need so that they can go back to work after they have children of their own.
Yeah. And you have such a unique perspective in the education space because you've also seen it from the administrative side. And you mentioned COVID and the parental rights issue. COVID is what revealed so many of the systemic issues for parents, the overabundance of power that teachers' unions have and had, especially during that time. As we see the power of education being moved to the states and the local levels, what's going to happen to the teachers' unions? Are they just going to ultimately dissolve or just lose nearly all of their power? What becomes of them?
Well, I hope they do dissolve and lose some of that power. We don't really have a strong contingency down in Louisiana, and I think that's why the secretary came here first, because we do have the freedom to be able to teach our children without that bureaucracy in place. I think we saw it play out, especially in the Northeast. It was not good for our students. It was not good for parents, teachers even. So, I think Louisiana is a great model that we all should kind of look to as far as just kind of dissolving that archaic teacher union model that doesn't seem to work and hopefully will dissolve.
Congresswoman, before we let you go, one of the things that we saw at the recent NEA teachers union event, I think it was in Oregon, was a hostile environment for some Jewish teachers. And of course, we've seen significant hostile environments for Jewish students all across college campuses and sometimes secondary and primary schools downstream. The education department's taken some big steps. I mean, big and expensive steps. Some of these universities are paying a dear price. Do you think the message has gone out that this intolerance is not welcome anywhere in the education system, or do you think more work's got to be done to stamp it out?
Oh, I think they've heard it loud and clear, and will continue as Congress, and I know the administration is committed to making sure that there is no place for anti-Semitism on our campuses, K through 12 or college for that matter. Every student should feel safe on their campus. We're going to continue to make sure that that happens.
Yeah. Congresswoman, before we let you go, as you head back to Capitol Hill at the end of recess, what are going to be some of the top priorities for Republicans?
Well, I serve on the Appropriations Committee, so I'm excited to get back to work. We have some more bills we need to get across the House floor. The Senate is actually picking those bills up and moving them as well. So I'm excited to get back to do my committee work and make sure that the hardworking tax dollars that the hardworking families are sending up to D.C. are coming back to benefit them directly.
Yeah, we've spoken to a number of members, and slicing and dicing seems to be the theme of the return upon Capitol Hill. Congresswoman, thank you so much for being here. Congresswoman Julia Letlow. We'll see you again very soon.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. All right, everybody, we're going to take a very quick break, but we have much more for you on the other side.